What's going on? How you guys doing? Man, in this Red Dead video, I'm going to give you a couple of tips and tricks for those new beginning players who just jumped on Red Dead and wanted to know how do you survive in the Wild Wild West. I'm going to give you a couple of tips that'll help make your Red Dead beginning an easier transition than it could possibly be. Oh, somebody's invited me to a posse. In this video, I'm going to give you a bunch of tips and tricks for those new players, the beginners who want to know how to survive in the Wild Wild West. I'm going to give you a couple of tips and tricks that I had to figure out the hard way on my own. But once I learned them, man, it made my journey so much more easier here in Red Dead. But before we get into the video, if this video helps you in any way, please feel free to subscribe to our channel. Help us grow. Also hit the notification bell so that you're alerted the next time that we drop a new video. Now that that's out of the way, man, let's hop right into it. So what are the first things you want to do, especially if you're a brand new player and you're just getting started, like you just logged on, just created your player, just hopped into the world, is you want to put it on defensive mode. So if you're on PlayStation, you want to hit the left D-pad, go down to online options, click online options and go all the way down to play style, and it puts it in defensive mode. Now what defensive mode does is it gives you somewhat of a protection, not much but some. It makes it so that any other players in the game that's doing PvP cannot lock on to you instantly. They have to pretty much find you and aim at you, and which is a lot harder when you're moving around in the world with there's so much going on for them to be able to aim at you, other than if you're in offensive mode, then they can just auto lock and boom, you shot, you're dead. So put it in defensive mode, gives you a little bit of a protection from other players in the game, because there's so many players in the game, and some people are PvE, some people are PvP. You don't know really who's who, and there's no really introduction or warning. It's just really shots fired. So this will protect you, give you a little bit of added protection throughout your journeys in the game. But also know that if you go into a mission, it will take you into offensive mode. So once you hop out of that mission, you want to make sure you go back into these settings and put it on defensive mode, because again, if you don't, then you'll stay in offensive mode and then wonder why you're getting shot by random people. So that's the first tip, first thing you should do getting into the game. Another great tip is that you can do a lot from your camp. You don't really need to go into town to get items that you purchase out of the catalog or to pay your bounties. You can do it right here at your lockbox, which is normally found next to a barrel. Anywhere your camp is positioned, it'll always be next to a barrel. And you can pick up the items that you purchase from the catalog, or any letters that you get. You don't have to run to the post office in town, and most importantly, you can pay your bounties from your lockbox. You don't have to try to go into town and go to the post office to pay your bounties. Especially if you have a high bounty, it'll be kind of hard because everyone will be shooting at you, trying to collect you, to get that money. So you can just come to your camp, pay your bounties, collect your items, and keep it moving. Another tip is that you can get from the catalog from anywhere in the world. You don't really need to go to a store. You can hold, if you're on PlayStation, you can hold the left on a D-pad. It takes you right to the catalog, and you can purchase any weapons that you need, any provisions, anything you need. You can post throughout the catalog, and it'll go right to your lockbox, and you can pick it up. Now going to the stores give you the added amenity, like you go to the gun store, give you the added amenity to be able to customize your gun. Now you can't customize a gun from the catalog. You have to go to the store to do that. But to purchase the gun, you can get it right here anywhere in the world. You can purchase it. You could be away from your camp, in the middle of riding. You can purchase it, and it'll go straight to your horse's satchel, and you can get it from there. Also, speaking of the horse will hold pretty much all of your guns. So to be able to cycle through your guns, you want to hop on your horse, hold down the L1 pad, L1 button if you're on PlayStation, and then you go over to rifles or any guns you have, and you can cycle and switch through the guns that you want to use. Now, once you pick the gun, if you hop off your horse and go away from your horse, you'll see that that's the gun you're gonna have. You can't cycle through your guns. So you want to make sure that before you get off your horse, you have the guns that you want to use, because the only way you'll be able to change your guns is if you hop back on your horse. Also, another really key item that you're gonna use throughout your travels is your satchel. I mean, your satchel is gonna hold everything, any items that you collect, any food that you have, you know, anything, any and everything, letters, documents, it's all gonna be in your satchel. And so how you get to your satchel, I just gotta eat real quick, is you hold the right D-pad on PlayStation, and it'll bring it up, and you go right into it and get whatever you need and hop out. Now, what you do need to know that is, if you're in any of those modes, if you're going through your satchel, if you're going through the catalog, as you see, if you bring up the catalog, you know, it goes full screen, so you really can't see any of the surroundings. You are still in the game. You're still in the game. You're still active. The world is still going on around you. This does not give you any protection. It's not like a pause game. There's no pause. So if you stop and you go into a catalog in an unsafe place, and then you come out of it, you might be surrounded by wolves, you might be surrounded by a bear, you might be getting mauled by a bear, or you might be getting shot by, you know, other computer players or other NPCs or the players in the game. So you want to make sure that when you go into your catalogs or your satchel, well, satchel's pretty easier, but if you go into your catalog or if you go into the map, like, this does not pause the game. The game's still going. If you go into your map, like I said, the game's still going. Things can still happen to you while you're in this mode. So like I said, if you're going into your map, you want to make sure that you're in a safe place, nothing's around you, or you're at your camp when you go to the map to set your waypoints, or if you're in a posse, you let one of your posse members know, hey, I'm about to check my map, or I'm about to, you know, purchase something, can you guys watch my back? That'll keep you safe, because it is not a pause. A lot of people think it's a pause. It is not. Another tip is you could do a lot from riding your horse. You can actually feed your horse while you're riding. You don't need to stop or get off your horse. You just click over to horse, doing the cycle wheel, grab the food item, and you can feed it right while you're riding. So there's no need to stop and get off your horse and feed your horse. You can feed your horse while you're riding and, you know, keep going. Also, your horse will let you know when danger is near, especially when there are other animals. Your horse will start moving his head left and right. He'll start making sounds, and if the animal is close enough, right in his stamina bar, you'll see a red exclamation point flash up. That means that there's an animal that's pretty dangerous and your horse is scared. So one, you want to A, either pull out your gun and kill the animal, or B, you know, book it and just start running. And once you get away from your animal, your horse will kind of calm down, but it won't completely calm down. You'll need to hit the L3 button on PlayStation to calm down your horse. He'll calm down, and then his stamina bar will actually refill a little bit. So if you're riding, you know, pretty fast, and you see his stamina bar going on, hit the L3. It'll calm your horse down, and it'll bring your stamina bar back up slightly. Another nice tip to know, that if your controller starts vibrating, that means you're near a collectible item. So hop off, push down R3 and L3 to see if you can see it in eagle eye. If you can't see it in eagle eye, just walk until you feel the vibration get stronger. Again, turn on eagle eye. I'm ducking. Turn on eagle eye, and you may be able to see it. The item that you could take will light up. Again, the vibration will get stronger, and then you'll be able to find the item, pick it up, and there you go. So if your controller starts vibrating, that means you're around valuable items. It's not like, you know, anything else. That's the way of learning you that there are valuable items around, and you should pick them up because they're gonna be worth a lot of dinero later on. So grab them. Another good tip is that when you see these blue dots, those are not events. Those are other players in the game, and so they show up as blue dots. And some players are friendly, and some players are not, because they're doing PvP, and you hear them shooting at you. So what you want to do is, when you see that blue dot, if you don't know them, stay away from them. If they're cool players, they'll go ahead and they'll come next to you. They'll tip your hat. If not, then they'll shoot at you, and you'll know. The further away you get from the dot, it will disappear, and you won't see it anymore, and then you know that you're clear from that player. Also, if you do go to that player and that player shoots you guys, or you shoot them, you kill that player, and you respawn or they respawn, they will respawn and a dot will be red, and so that will let you know that kind of like you and that player are still beefing at this moment. So you can either go back and fight them more, or you can, you know, leave the area so that the beef will end. But once you leave, their dot won't show up and it won't be red anymore. um, so just so you know, if it's a red dot, that's a player that you just killed, and or they killed you and you guys are, you know, beefing, and you should stay away from them, or go ahead and have that shootout. Another great tip that I learned is that location is everything, especially in the beginning. If you are set your camp up near a popular town, there's going to be a lot going on. You're going to encounter a lot more players. Like I said, some are cool and some are not. So if you want to keep yourself safer while you're getting your bearings and learning the game, try setting up your camp in a less populated area. You know, Emerald Station is a good place, you know. But know that when you set your camp up in a less populated area, it's going to be less amenities there. So you may have to travel a little bit further to go to the butcher or go to the tailor or just to the general store, things like that. But in the beginning, it's not really, you know, that important because you could do so much from your camp. So that's something to think about when you're starting off in the game, setting up your camp. Like, location is everything. And if you set your camp up in a high populated area, you're gonna run the risk of running into, you know, more active players, whether they're good or bad. And more active players mean like less resources around because everybody's, you know, fighting for those same resources. It's a huge map. It's a huge world. So I would just say just go set your camp up in a less populated area, just so you can get your bearings into the game. But then once you got your bearings and you understand the game, you can then camp anywhere you want. So that's it, man. That is a number of tips and tricks that I think that will help make your transition into the game, especially if you're a beginner, easier. These helped me out once I learned them. It helped me out, helped me get my bearings into the game, and it made my life a little bit easier. So that is it, man. I hope you enjoyed this video. Again, if it helped you in any way, please consider subscribing. Helps our channel grow. Also hit the notification bell so that you're alerted the next time that we drop a new video. And that is it, man. I will catch you guys on the flip side.